Your life. Johnny looks good.
Are you sponsored here?
Huh?
Are you sponsored?
Sponsor what? No. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. Yeah.
Myself.
Okay. So yesterday we're talking about GCF. Okay?
Yes.
No problem. Because from what we're gonna do now, it's all based on this. If you want to factor anything, the first thought process is GCF. Okay? First thought process is GCF. Anything else is gonna be always after GCF, and then you do other things. Okay? So what other type of factoring are they? So as far as pre-calculus and algebra 2, there's only a small difference. So I'm trying to use the two different markers to show you. Algebra 2 and pre-calculus difference. So pre-calculus is going to be a little bit more. Okay? Algebra 2 is going to be less. Okay, so we're going to start with algebra 2 because a lot of you guys need help with algebra 2. So let's start with two terms. Two terms for algebra 2, then you have to including a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. How many of you guys have seen this before? Good. What is it called? What is the name of this? No. Yes.
Difference of the squares.
Thank you. That's why you're in here. It depends on a square. S-Q-U-A-R-E-S. And the reason S is because this is a negative sign is called difference. So we know subtracting is difference. And this is a perfect square. So this is a perfect square. So here is a perfect square. For this part and this part. Okay? So two terms, you got a squared minus b squared equal to a plus b times a minus b. If you don't believe me, well, figure it out. So that's equal to a squared minus ab plus ab minus b squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. And some of you guys already know this, which is great. But do you know that you can use this to solve a mental math problem? Not mental, but mental, which is speed math, right? So think about this question, right? So how many of you guys can tell me what is 62 times 58 without lifting a finger? 62 times 58. Huh? Do you know the answer?
Is it 316?
316, no, that's too small. It's gonna be way bigger than that. How many of you guys can do this?
You want us to do it in your head?
Yeah. You okay?
That's just gonna turn.
So I'm gonna show you a trick though. And now all you guys know how to do this, okay? I'm gonna show you a trick. 62 is equal to 60 plus 2. What'd you say? Okay? 58 is what?
50 plus, yeah.
Huh. 60 minus 2 is 58, right? Now, do you see that this is right here, a plus b, a plus b? Do you see that a minus b is a minus b here? So what do you think the answer is? Well, it's equal to this side, which is 60 squared minus 2 squared. What is 60 squared?
36.
So the answer is 3596. If you don't believe me, you can try it to work it out, see if you got 3596. And that's a very interesting fact because we're using the difference of a square. A lot of you guys don't know about this, but that's how people do speed math. They can do this kind of stuff. Okay. And you're more welcome to try one. You can try that says 47 times 53. You're more welcome to try it. Now try the new method. Don't try the old-fashioned method. Okay, try the new method so you can do it without lifting the pencil. You got it? Good. If you realize they are based on 60, right? So which number is this based on? So if you are good at math, you can figure out the answer is 2491. Is that cool? I thought it was cool. And I didn't learn this until last year. I saw a math video and I said, oh wow, I've been using this all the time, but I never used it on my actual application.
But you can't do that with every number.
You cannot do that with number. The only number is because they are based on the 50. But ones go up 3 and ones go down 3, which just happen to be a difference of a square. So, right. So this one is going to be 50 minus 3 and 50 plus 3. And then you solved it, voila, 2491. It's really easy. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go through how to factor this. Let's say factoring x squared minus 25. We should know how to factor this. Is what?
X plus 5.
X plus 5 and x minus 5, right? And you're going to be like, yeah, this is easy, right? Okay. Are we okay about this? Do we need to practice on this or no? No. Okay, good. So we can go straight to the next thing. Or just in case, we're going to give one more before we go into that. 49 x squared minus 16. So what will be my factor of 49 x squared minus 16? 7x plus 4 and a 7x minus 4, right?
Yes.
So it comes very, very handy. Now be careful. The next one is 2x to the third minus 18x. So I want you to factor this. Remember what I said at the very beginning. Remember what I said at the very beginning. Sebastian, you finished? Okay. What did you do?
So,
GCF, yes. Please remember. GCF first. Right? What is my GCF?
2x.
2x. So then you should get 2x out first. And then you got x squared minus 9. And then do you stop here? No, there was a difference of a square. So that's equal to 2x times x plus 3 and x minus 3. Questions? Am I going too fast? No? You got this? Let's try again. So let's say 81 x to the third minus 9x. Paul, are you done? Lawrence, what'd you get?
I was still working on it. I couldn't see the problem. Sorry.
Okay. Do you have problems seeing?
No, it's just somebody sitting right there. So.
Johnny, your head's too big.
That's kind of mean.
That's kidding. But it's okay, you looked it up, don't you? Then just ask Julie what the question is. Julie, can you tell him what's the question, right? You got it?
Oh, my God.
Okay, what'd you get?
9x.
9x, factor out first, and what do you have left?
X squared minus 1.
X squared minus 1, and then can I do it anymore?
Yes.
There was actually perfect square. This is 1 is also perfect square as well. So yes, you can do more.
Is it me?
Oh no, so 9x, sorry.
Yeah.
So this one should be 3, and this one's 3. Thank you. Question about this. This is fairly easy, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what a pre-cal entail is different. Pre-cal is a little bit more. You not only need to know sum and difference of a square, you need to know sum and difference of a cube. Okay? So what I ask my pre-cal students, so this is pre-cal only, not for algebra 2, is how do I factor something like this? 8 and minus 27. Okay, so it turns out there's a sum and difference, so we're going to use red marker now because this is not for algebra 2. This is for pre-calculus only. So algebra student, don't need to worry about it. So it's called SOAP. SOAP. It's an acronym. So what happened is you got a to the cube plus b to the cube, and you got a to the cube minus b to the cube. That's equal to a plus b, a minus b, times by a squared, b squared. A squared, b squared. Okay, so the format is this one's gonna stay the same, just without the cube. This is gonna stay the same. So this part stands as S. Sen. Okay? Here is O. O is gonna be opposite. So sen. Sen sign. So this one's, if you start negative sign, this one's what? Positive. And this one's positive, this is negative. So this one is what? Opposite. SOAP, this is always positive. So always positive. And how do I memorize this? It's a squared, b squared. It's kind of like a Putnam square. If you guys remember Putnam square for the blood type, right? So is like A, B, right? So pretty much this is A, B, and B, right? So if you have parents are AB blood type, you're gonna have half the chance that you're gonna get AB and have another chance to get A's and another chance to get a quarter chance to get B's. So kind of easier to remember. A squared, AB, B squared. So this one's kind of hard to memorize. Now what you're gonna do is look at this function and you say, hey, A to the Q and B to the Q. What is A to the Q? A to the Q is equal to AX to the 3. And then B to the Q is equal to 27. Now I need to figure out what A is. That means you're going to do cube root on both sides. The cube root of AX cubed, that means this is X, and that's 2. Because 2x times 2x times 2x is equal to what? AX cubed. What is a B? 3. And then all you gotta do is follow the formula. Which formula I'm following? This going to follow this because of the subtracting sign. So I just had to follow this. A minus B, which is 2x minus 3. Now be careful with this. Every time you substitute, you put a parenthesis, right? So that's why you have to pay attention. A squared, so it's going to be 2x squared. People are just going to write down 2x squared instead of without parentheses because that makes a big difference. Now 2x and b's, you want an AB, so it's going to be plus 6x. And the last one is going to be always positive, so it's going to be b squared, so it's 9. So it's actually equal to 2x minus 3 times 4x squared plus 6x plus 9.
Why is it still 4x?
Because it's a 2x, and every time you substitute, you have to put a parenthesis. We talked about that. 2x squared, that means 2 times 2 is 4, x squared. If you don't believe me, that's okay. We can practice the FOIL skill, distributing skill again. Let's practice this, but usually you do this part, you find that's a factor already. So now if I were to do this properly, then if I do this, so it's going to be ax to the third. Does that make sense? And to here is what? Plus 12x squared, 18x, minus 12x squared, minus 18x, minus 27, that's equal to ax cubed, cross it out, cross it out, cross it out, cross it out, minus 27. Okay? This one's not always on the test, but if you pre-calc, you should know this. So I'm going to give you a try. So I'm going to give you a try that says this. I'm going to say it's 27x to the cube plus 125. So I want you to factor this. Okay? And think about which formula you have to follow, because the minus sign is going to follow a minus formula, and plus sign is going to follow this. So all this are pre-calculus only. I bet you don't need to worry about it. Pre-calc, you guys gotta go more extensive. Xavier, what is A in this case?
A would be 3x.
Perfect. Does this make sense? This is hard? So 3x times 3x times 3x is what? 27x. So you, what's your name? Anisha, what is B in this case? Johnny is gonna help you. Johnny is gonna say what?
Would be 5.
5. So then just follow this formula, right? This formula is follow this track right here, right? So then that's equal to what? 3x plus 5? 3x plus 5 times by what? 9x squared, not 3x squared. Be careful because 3x times 3x and 9x squared. That's what people make most mistakes right here. They say 3x squared. But it's 3x parentheses squared. So that makes this one here minus 15x and then plus 25. And then you're done. You just finish a very hard factoring problem. That's sum and difference of the cube. So this is called, the name is sum and difference of cube. Okay? In pre-calc also, an algebra 2 teacher lied to you, which is I do. So what happened is, they told you something's not factorable. Any question about this one before I go on? Yes?
Why is it plus 25?
Because of 5 squared. So 5 squared.
Oh.
Okay? Algebra 2 teacher lied to you. They told you now pre-calc only. In algebra 2 I put the same line. So it's okay. So sometimes you got this. X squared plus 25. In algebra 2, we say that's not factorable. I don't know if you remember this. But they say sum of the square are not factorable. But in pre-calc, I just want you to know, it is factorable. It just in a different directions. Okay? I'm going to show you how this factor, but you don't have to memorize this, but later on we're going to deal with it later. So these are factorable, but don't get confused. So if you have problem knowing all this formula, don't worry about this one. This one's for extra only. So it's actually x plus 5i times x minus 5i. Because I times I is going to be square, I square is going to be -1. But again, you don't need to worry about it. I just want to let you know, we lied to you.
Why isn't it just x plus 5 times x minus 5 without the I?
Because that would be x squared minus 25. If you don't believe me, you can FOIL it out.
No, I believe you.
No, we should. You should not trust me because I say anything could be lying to you. X times x is x squared, right?
Yep.
And then minus 5ix, what'd you say? Plus 5ix, what'd you say? Those two cancel out, and I'm gonna take minus 25i squared. You guys know I squared is what? We're gonna learn this. It's gonna be -1. I squared is -1, so therefore it's x squared minus 25 times -1, so that's equal to x squared plus 25. So this is a little bit beyond your skill right now, but I'm just saying, I'm not gonna spend too much time drawing this. If you don't know this, it's perfectly fine. Okay. Yes?
So is the reason you wouldn't just do x plus 5 and x plus 5 because it would be trinomial instead of the actual equation?
Oh, you're lucky. I record lesson for you. So you're gonna have to go back and watch it. Wow. Oh. So we learned sum and difference of the cube. Am I going too fast? So let's talk about the last part. It's a factor by grouping. Factor by grouping is all about GCF. So we're gonna take the questions. Okay, I'm gonna take those questions here. You guys, have you heard of a term factor by grouping before?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, so we're going to talk about factor by grouping. So we talked about 2 terms. We talked everything about 2 terms. Now we just have to make sure we can do 4 terms. 4 terms, so last time we talked about 2 terms, right? All the 2 terms we finished. All the 3 terms is going to be like this. Oh, sorry, 4 terms. We're going to talk about 4 terms. and we're gonna pick a question like this. X squared, y squared, plus 3y squared, minus 5x squared, minus 15. We're gonna pick a question like this. We say, hey, how many terms are this? 4 terms. When it's 4 terms, you think about factor by grouping. So there's a name called factor by grouping. It turns out it can be more than 4 terms later because it's not going to be factor by grouping, going to be using synthetic division and stuff like that. But at here, you're going to learn about factor by grouping. So what is factor by grouping? You guys remember? Yes. What do you do first? Yes.
You like split the 2 equations in half, you factor them.
Yes. So you put a parenthesis on the first 2 terms. And for me, I even put a parenthesis on the last 2 terms. Okay? That makes my life easier. Sometimes you might have to factor 1 out, but in this case, no, you don't. So we're going to look at the first parenthesis here. What do we see? What we do in a factor grouping is we're going to use GCF 3 times. Not only once, not twice, 3 times. GCF, what's GCF between x squared, y squared, plus 3y squared? Y squared, so good. So y squared, I'm going to color code this. What do I have left?
X squared plus 3.
Am I okay?
Yes.
Okay, negative 5x squared minus 15. See, here's a part that you want to factor out a negative sign. Negative 5, good. So how many times you use GCF? This is once, this is twice. And I'm going to color code this for you to show you. That's going to be x plus 3. X squared plus 3, sorry. Now what do you see? I see another GCF between those 2 terms. So I can take this out completely as 1. So I'm going to say x squared plus 3 to the y squared minus 5. Hopefully color code help you.
Don't you need to do the x squared plus 3?
This is not perfect square, right? This is not perfect square. But yes, this is also factorable. It's-
I mean, like, you know how on the top it's y squared times x squared plus 3 minus 5 x squared plus 3, and then you wrote x squared plus 3.
X plus 3, that means I'm factoring this out completely. I'm taking out completely, so this is like, think about this one as z. So it's like y squared is z, right? Minus 5z, right? So think about z is this. Can I take a z out? And we know z is what? Y squared. We know z is x squared plus 3. So we can say x squared plus 3 here. So it's like factoring even the parenthesis out. Okay. You're gonna try on this question and see how you do. It's xy plus 2x minus y minus 2. Now sometimes you have to factor out 1. If they have the same thing as here, you have to factor out 1. Okay, so you have to be careful. Sometimes you might have to factor out 1. I think in this case, you might have to factor out a negative 1. Can I help you?
I'm so confused.
That was so quick.
Basically what I meant is because, okay, so on the top you put it twice, and then on the bottom you only put it once. Why?
Because you look at it, imagine this is z. Imagine this is z. Okay? So it's a yz minus 5z, right? And then the z, I can factor it out like a constant.
Okay.
Okay? So now here, hold on, before you go, look at this. Look at this. What can I factor out here?
X.
What do you have left? What can I factor out here? Negative 1, good. And then y plus 2. Are we done yet?
No.
Y plus 2 times x minus 1. Thank you guys. You guys will learn a lot of stuff. Ariana,
Yeah.
can you guys handle it?
Yeah, I remember doing this at the end of Algebra 1 in 8th grade. My
Okay.
teacher said went over some other two things, so I remember this.
Okay, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, factoring, I think is your strong suit a little bit, because you remember difference of square.
Alright, thank you, Mr. Yan.
Thank you.